Oh no, turn on. Hi everyone, it's Wednesday night. Nice to see you all. Hope you're well. I'll wait till a few more people get on here. Isn't it dark early? It's incredible how the nights have cut in, and this is when I think it's going to be a problem. Not just for me, I know, but for everyone else when it gets to autumn. And well, it's been a very good summer. It's been the warmest summer on record, which basically means it's going to be not particularly a bad winter, but it'll feel like a longer winter because I haven't had much rain or anything. I just think things will be difficult this winter for a lot of people. Hi Steve, how are you doing? So you're going to watch the danger of relapse, I suppose that's the main thing. And as soon as I'm going to talk about the title tonight was when did you realise that you were unable to drink like other people? Now Blackstone, who comes in here, has given me a few titles, which is really good. I think it's quite an appropriate title. When did you understand you weren't able to drink like others? Hello Dan, how are you? Welcome to everybody. It's early days, it's only been about a minute. So the subject, I think, is quite a good title. And I realised I couldn't drink like other people pretty early on, I think. Late teens even. Because it caught up with me very quickly and I noticed my hangovers were much worse than anybody else's. I noticed I could drink more. I had a higher tolerance to drinking. Which isn't a good thing, is it? And you think you're a bit of the Jack the Lad. I met a lad in the hospital who died, unfortunately, in the same ward as me. And he was on about when he was younger, he regretted so much that he was drinking this hooch stuff they used to make, alcohol and all that sort of thing, you know. Hello, Richard, what's happened to you? Beam me up, Scotty, so whilst I've heard that. Rains Berlin, Neon, evening, Rosa, how are you doing? Alex, Rosa. Haven't heard that term for years, Rosa. Simon, I hear an owl. Yeah, isn't that strange? You must have good hearing. Yes, it is an owl. It's been doing that for about the last hour or so. Oh, I'm okay. I'm glad for the life. Well, I had the night off last night, a few things to do, but I'm back again. Can you hear the owl again? Listen. It's gone. Jason Gray, how are you doing? Nice to see you. So the title, when did you realise? I would say, when did you realise that you weren't, as you know, a normal drinker? Because I met a taxi driver and seen for many years, about a year ago, a couple of years ago. And he said, "How are you doing? Doing well and all that." And hello, sub, signing in. Good evening. You've checked in on duty. That's good. Tom Cunningham, hi all. Nice to see you. So I realised quite young that I couldn't be a social drinker. But I didn't mind that because I used to enjoy it and it made me feel better. So that was the main reason I did it. Hi, Lizzie. Hope you're well. And everything's going well. Your photographs certainly brought a lot of comments in. 99% were good. And it was worth posting that. If you want me to post anything else, then just get in touch, you know. Because it's a massive reminder to people about how quickly you can get into a mess with alcohol. And, have something as graphic as that. Pulls people back a little bit. Hi, Scooter, how are you doing? Nice to see you. So let me know when you realise, what age you realise that you had a problem with alcohol. That's what it means. When did you actually think, wow, I'm not the same as everybody else? They've gone home and they've managed to, behave themselves. And we're still at the boozer at midnight. But have been swept out with the sawdust, you know. Matt, hi Stephen, we thought we had an owl too. Maybe two. Nick Field, evening, how are you? How are you doing? Nice to see you. Scooter Bob, my mum passed. Oh, sorry to hear that, Scooter. Bloody hell. Not good. Cycle of life, unfortunately, isn't it? My dad died 4 years ago. I was 94. So we lived long lives, but it's always horrendous when people pass away. And the thing is, I could have easily gone back to the booze 4 years ago, but I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't, because I wouldn't have been here either. So you've got to, be mindful of that. It's not a nice about it. 95. Wow, Scott Bass, incredible. Incredible, isn't it? 95 years old. You're talking nearly 100 years old. What they've seen in that time, it's incredible. The life. 95 years old isn't. I think there's only about 1% of people, maybe about 2% live to that age. You know, not a lot of people live to that age. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Scott. Beef and chicken, Scott. Sorry for your loss. I agree. Good job, Scott. Leslie, will do, Steve. Thanks. If there's anything else, just stick them through and I'll put them on for you. Yeah, life goes on, doesn't it? Unfortunately, that's the way you've got to think about it. But everyone was drunk. Sometimes that's a bit of a release, isn't it? But you've got to be careful that you. I'm so glad you've kept sober. It's amazing to do that. It's one of the biggest things that can ever hit you, isn't it? Losing a parent, especially your mother. Rains Bundy and Alex, it could be a desperate alcoholic howling for help outside your window. Go and see him. Yeah. Yeah. So let me know what age you think you had a problem with this. Carry on. Because some people have a problem much later in life. And I had a very interesting question. I'll pose it again to you from a partner who said, can anybody at any age become an alcoholic? Because I met my cousin last Monday for a meal with a partner, and she hadn't had a drink until she was 45. She didn't become an alcoholic, but just posed the question: can you start drinking heavily at that age and then become an alcoholic, or do you have to start young? Because the figures show that the younger you start, the more problems you can have. Simple as that, really. Robbie Howler, hi, all these live chats have been brilliant. Thanks, Robbie. Cheers for that endorsement. Let's go about alcohol never helped the score, of course it doesn't. It takes a little bit of the pain away. Well, good word that. It's good. It's just an illusion. It is mind. It's fake, isn't it? It's mind altering. Robert Sanchez, access and wealth. Yeah, definitely. It's worth put that in. If you getting some benefits from these lives, which I hope you do, then please think about dropping the super chat in or buy me coffee. Link is at the top there. There's no monetization on here. It keeps things moving if there's no adverts on here. You see. Yes, good. It just takes away the pain temporarily, and then you just feel worse. And the anxiety hits you again, doesn't it? 10 times more. But life throws us a lot of curveballs and a lot of tragedy happens. But that's life. You get that for the benefits and the good points in life, don't you? So, as I said, I started drinking myself heavily when I was about 17, 18. I drank 14, 15, 18 came, drank more, and then realised I was drinking more than everybody else. David McKay, hi Stephen. No, nice to see you, Debbie. Hope you're well. If you let me know what sort of age you were. I mean, I think most people tend to get into a bit of a mess around the age of 40. Because my friend who's a doctor, he said that he didn't see, especially males, under the age of 40, and then they suddenly pop up with all these problems. A lot of them are alcohol related. Stoic, in work and well, oh goodness, in addiction, it would have been an excuse to stay off. The wife called crying over our grief. Though it hurts to hear her cry, I'm glad I'm sober. Her tears would have fell in silence. I like that, so yeah, it's good. I know what you're saying. Sober is much better. Yeah, we've all got problems. Everyone has problems every day. But if you're drinking, then they don't want to go away, are they? It's going to make them worse. You need sobriety to deal with life. Life's complicated and tough enough without having the hangover thrown in, the financial issues and health issues all on top of all that. Because the stress levels are just acute, aren't they? Sober, Bob, let's all get sober. Stop now. Good message. That's what I'm trying to put every day. We need everyone to get sober. I don't know if anybody's heard from Kaz, but she hasn't been on here for a couple of days now. Alex got no mess when I was 18. Yeah, I think mine was about 21 when I joined the police. Not no mess then, but I realised I could drink quite a lot. And I was one of the instigators sometimes of let's go for a booze up sort of thing, go for a couple of pints. And we all know that a couple of pints never means a couple of pints. You never have a couple of pints, do you? You always have more than that. So, Maren, I joined my first submarine at age 17. Introduced to heavy drinking every time we went ashore. I couldn't keep up with the lads. But within 3 years, I was drinking them on the table. Yes, it's similar to me. See, you get drawn along, don't you? And you just become part of the game. So about 4 weeks is good. It is. It's excellent. Why risk it with an open bar? You would, if you drank, you see, you would regret it now. And that's the thing you got to remember. Uppermost in your mind, you're never going to feel good with alcohol. You're always going to feel rough. You're always going to have regrets. And all this sort of thing. No one's going to thank you for it. Because other people who can say normally drink will just walk away and leave you in a mess. Steve McCullen. Hi, mate. Hope everyone okay. Thanks, Steve. Cars, hiya. You're back. Wow. How are you keeping, Cars? Because you haven't got that long, really, in the general scheme of things till you rehab, have you? I feel it's been booked for months. So, Charlie, Dad, I do believe there's a massive difference between heavy drinking and alcoholic. Yeah, I think it was pointed out to me as well that, when you get dependent, you need to drink rather than want to drink. Heavy drinker wants to drink. An alcoholic needs a drink. There's a massive difference in those two words. Stoic, weeks is not long enough for that sort of holiday. You want at least 3 months under your belt before going to drinking environments. Not worth the risk. No, it's not. Scott sounds like you just want to shrink. Leslie, my maternal grandmother did not touch a drop of alcohol in her 89 years, bar once. I went to visit her. An elderly lady invited us for a drink. Grandma said it was a lovely chocolate drink, right? So nothing to drink in her whole life. Some people do that, but very rare, mind. Because as we all know, it's very common for people to drink too much, isn't it? 2122. There's alcohol abuse, alcoholism, and alcohol dependency, which are considered to be very distinct categorizations. Maybe I just know that I drank too much, so I got the habit turned into an addiction, which gave me lots of anxiety, which turned into a vicious cycle of drinking more. And then obviously, when you got the anxiety, you drink more, and then your physical health problems will come along. Lucy Joe turned to be Bailey's, and I had to carry her home. Really, just wondering. It's quite a good story in a way, that wasn't it, Lucy? To be fair. Scope up apples and oranges. Alex, to be honest, I was in a mess before 18 when I nearly died from stolen tablets in the garden. And the garden was taking nearly 20 gabentin pills a day, along with baclofen pills I was snoring. Jesus Christ, Alex. It's a lot of gear. Fortunately, I never got into that side of things. But I made it up with alcohol, as you well know. Richard never stigmatised alcoholics. It's a disease. Of course it is, yeah. But none of us go out to become alcoholics or set out. It's been a rough couple of days, if I'm honest. Managed to get a drink tonight. We'll be off it on next week. It's Wednesday. How's everyone? Everyone's well at this side. Guys, I'm fine. Thanks very much. Let's see how much you can drink depends on how much you used to. I think so, yeah, you're right. It's like the habit, isn't it? You get so used to it, someone left them in the garden and then moved out. And I stole 100 tablets. Wow. Rick Shea, they say a huge amount of alcoholics are self-medicating for anxiety. A massive amount. That's what I did, Rick. And that's what got me in the mess that I was in 2019. Even if you've been off for years, you can still slip back into it. That's the problem with that. Nobody can explain that. Not in detail. Dan, I knew everyone else was paralytic and I wasn't even out in the first year. That's a very good way of describing it. How did you know you were different to other drinkers? Everyone else was knackered. I totally agree. I remember I was about 15. Some of the lads came down. I was playing the band with a few friends and I was drinking. We're drinking my dad's home brew. They were on holiday. And they walked away from the house across the grass area, the main road. It was staggering. I went out that night and I was sober as a judge. Yeah, I had a much bigger tolerance, higher tolerance very early. Cornwalks is pale a little better than lager. I'm not quite sure. Really. I mean, any alcoholic drink's got ethanol in it, so it doesn't really matter. It depends what you drink, what quantity you drink, really. What's the worst alcoholic drink for health? What's the worst one? That's a good question. Are spirits or lager any different? When you talk to the doctors, or research doctors especially, they'll say it doesn't matter. But I think I've never drank spirits, but I believe spirits hit the system harder. Stoic, I was 6 months sober and 4 weeks ago. I had a week on it. Then stopped again, not even thought of a drink. Charlie, I know. I like how we can be brutally honest in here. We have to be, don't we? It's a killer, and we've got to get people open about it, and be honest and say what we want to say. Really, Nick, you'll be drunk before the first day ends. That's the problem. If you go back to it, because Steve, I knew things had changed when people said I didn't even look pissed. Yeah, I've got you. It's true. This, all these things are fairly common. We have a high tolerance, don't look drunk, we're able to cope with things better, and everyone else is staggering about. What about them alcohol-free drinks? Yeah, I do drink alcohol-free Guinness. I'll go one now and again. Steve, Nick, I say go enjoy the weather. Prove you're up to the challenge, and not have not parking in the free bar. Yeah, you've got to be strong. That's the best word, isn't it? Come with, I suppose vodka and coke hits hard if you ain't had that for a long time. Anything hits hard if you haven't had it for a long time because your body detoxifies, isn't it? That's the problem, and you get to the point where you cannot really you cannot function properly, and your body will just give up on you. That's the issue, isn't it? You have to realise that the older you get, the less able you are to cope with it, and you don't take you downhill, isn't it? Scott, I've got to be strong, be sober, and happy. Thanks, Scott, Bob, and thanks for being so honest about your situation. God bless you. Stoic, I was 4 months sober then I went 1 week before taking my wife to a concert on the bucket list. But her birthday I relapsed. Yeah, it's easy to relapse, isn't it? I was supposed to be our first concert together. I gave my ticket to our best mate. Spoils everything. Alcohol. Charlie Jack, night all. Andrew, hello, Anne, how are you doing? Con, evening, as I said before, it's just only problems I had with drinking is that it was never a problem. It always a curse. Well said. Charlie, early start tomorrow. Good luck, Charlie. Stoic small sacrifices now for a lifetime of magnificent experiences. Yeah. Life will open up for you once you stop. Calm walks, dry January is a waste of time. You've got to be just dry. Maya, did you drink to get high or be social and enjoy the taste? It didn't really get high. It just gave me a little bit of a mellow feel, you know. I did like the taste, and it was part of the social circle I was in. If that makes sense. Plus, I liked drinking in London. It was a bit different. Busy bars there. And it was good atmosphere. Everyone drinks loads at Christmas. It's crackers at Christmas, isn't it? I mean, what goes on at Christmas? It started already in the shops. They started piling beer up in the big stores already. You know, next to tills when you go in. It's just crazy. It's absolute madness. And it's just one of them things you get used to. They'll be there for 3 or 4 months. All these boxes and boxes of beer and boxes of wine and all that sort. Cars, hi, Nick. Yeah, I totally appreciate your advice, Stoic, but need this break to unwind and relax. As working family is getting top of me. Yeah, there's times when you do that, but at the end of the day, you know, you've got to realise that this is gonna really impact on your life, and you have to be focused. You have to be strong for yourself and for your partner, and just you've got to look. We're all here for one thing, and that's to get healthy again, isn't it? Because you can't appreciate life unless you're healthy. And I know people who say, "Oh, I'll just drink myself to death." It's pathetic when I look back at it. And I never said that of myself. I know people who do say that, and they will have a terrible life ahead of them. The dump for evening. I haven't seen a dump for a while. How are you? My self-medicating 100%. Nick, I feel mentally strong enough not to pick one up. I'm stronger, free of mind, of course. Yeah, my access and relapse are connected. Yes, I agree with that. And I think this, when I mentioned the other day, this AI, when it comes in, people have got more time at home, more working from home, more availability to dodge work a bit, not going into work. There'll be more problems with this, as in the COVID time, you know, similar to that. If you benefit from these lives, then please feel free to drop a super chat in or buy me coffee links at the top to support the channel, because we're getting a hell of a lot of people on here now. It's helping a lot of people. I'll get some good feedback. We'll keep pushing it. We'll do well, you know, and all of us will come out of it sober, happy, and maybe a little bit more content in life, and you can relax a little bit, you know. You cannot relax when you're in this throes of shall I drink, shall I shan't, just get off it. And once you're off it and be sober confident, life is a totally different ball game. So if you please don't drink, stay strong, otherwise you will ruin the holiday for both of you. Your addiction will come in strong. This will be the make or break. You've got to be strong for everybody. Real farmer, how are you doing? Calm walks, red eyes, and you know you drank too much. Yeah, of course you do. You know how much drink you drink. Gary Dawson, end up near on Monday night in Newcastle RVI. Wow. Bad withdrawal symptoms. Ironically, I'm 6 weeks sober. Alcoholism ain't a quick fix. So did that happen after 6 weeks, Gary? I was in the RVI in October 2019. I've been there a couple of times after that as well. Bloodshot eyes, I never avoid now. Bertie Bassett, hello Bertie, how are you? Calm walks, only drink and avoid all the red eyes. That's too much. Marita, how are you? Nice to see you. Con, Nick, it's suicide. It is slow suicide. That's all it is. That's what people are doing. People in the pubs every day, slow suicide. There's no other way of describing it, really. Nick, feel that's what I intend to do. Maya, when I relapse at first, I feel lucky to use it again when it turns on me. Yeah, never feel lucky to take something which is going to kill you. Hangovers will hit worse to do as time goes on. Richard Bruce, funny to see old movies. Thanks, Con, for that super chat. Con says, stay hard, people. That's excellent. That. You're right there, man. You've got to stay strong. Thanks for that, Con. I really appreciate that. It keeps, if else wants to just drop a super chat in, please do. It keeps the channel moving along. You're right there, man. Stay hard, people. It's just a short, sharp message, isn't it? Because if you don't stay sharp, you don't stay hard, you don't stay strong, then it'll just bite you back, and you end up each time you relapse in the worst state. Real farmer, I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you doing? How's chat? Chat's brilliant. Thanks very much, farmer. It's getting better and better. Well, more dynamic as it were, a lot more input. Cornwall, yeah, pubs died out anyway now. There's a lot of pub closures on there, but it's so cheap from the shops, isn't it? Social dynamics have changed 100%. I enjoy your drink though. That's the thing, man. You enjoy it, and it's hard to give up something you enjoy, isn't it? That's the problem. But if something's going to harm you, I think the enjoyment eventually will just dissipate, and it just becomes a nightmare and torture. And there's no enjoyment of feeling ill and having hangover, because the relapse thing will take you back, not just to hangover, it'll take you to withdrawal. So you can have a dry period, say 2 years, and you suddenly have a drink, and then you all that time off it'll take you back to bad health again. And each time you do that, you get the kindling effect, which will make things worse. Elbow, shops are getting expensive. The cost is based on the high percentage. Right, okay. I think all in all, there's more availability to alcohol. It's more socially acceptable than ever. It hasn't become like cigarettes where less people smoke. Drink is out there massively, and that's why alcohol-related deaths have gone up to the highest level ever. And in women, liver-related deaths have gone up by 35% in 5 years, which is huge, isn't it? Shops are getting expensive. The cost is based on the high percentage of volume. I've got you. Yeah. When I started drinking, and when Submarine and a few others started drinking, the average sort of strength of a beer was about 3.74%. Now it's 6%. A lot of beers, 5.5, 6, and they're throwing the same amount down the necks every day. So that's the issue, isn't it? Stronger drinks available. Pubs opening longer. I'll go on about the Wetherspoons thing briefly. 9 o'clock for booze is going to get people in there. In the wintertime, they're going to keep people in there because people can't afford the heating bills. Recession has got a lot to do with it as well. Mere relapse starts in the brain. It's the broken thinking taking over. Yeah, good point. You just think. I think with me, it's a question about when I was off it for so long. I wonder if I can control it again. But we all know we can't. Gary doesn't. The RVI is chaos at the minute. New reception being built, so the old one is like a sardine can. Lots of stretches and corridors. Wow. How long were you in there, Gary? We were former back 15 years ago in the UK. There were 90 pubs a week shutting down. I was a builder for many years, buying shut down pubs, knock them down, and build own private housing. So God knows. I think it's 350 a week now. A lot of pub closures. Elbow weak cans are a lot cheaper. You're right there. But if you have to drink, it's better for you. I suppose no way. Not that any alcohol is better for you. Dennis Murray, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Birdie Bassett drinks have gone down in volume, up in price. Style as example. Some have, yeah. Good point, Birdie. Phone's going to die, so I might despair. No problem. So, nice for popping in. Nice for you to pop in. I'll speak to you soon. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why we shouldn't drink. But that question about born by Blackstone about when do you know that you're not going to be a social drinker, you can probably pinpoint around the time, can't you? I think you can probably pinpoint around the time you became alcohol dependent as well. It's when you start to, as my fiance said actually, not want to drink, you need to drink. And that's when your health will just collapse if you need a drink rather than want one. Alex, I wonder what would happen if they put similar pictures of alcohol and cigarettes. I know what you're saying. I'm not sure it would make a lot of difference because alcohol is associated with social life. Smoking is not really associated with smoking life. With social, you drink, have a chat. The smoking thing was never. You don't meet for a smoke. It was an addition where you meet for a drink. A pub with a serve drink. You don't go to a smoking house where there's just smoke in there. And people, do you see what I mean? You go to a pub where there's food and there's drinks and there's a bit of music, maybe sometimes a bit of chat, a bit of sport on TV. Smoking's different to that, so I don't think it'll make much difference. A lot of people are aware what's going to happen to you if you drink too much, but they still do it, as I did. Yeah, it's insane to think I can control it again with all the evidence. Yeah, exactly. You got your own evidence in your own head, haven't you? Tom Cunningham, those mad strong cheap ciders should be banned. Oh God, I drank them once. I was living in London for a while before I eventually retired, and I remember drinking the style lager mix that like a bit of that white cider stuff. It's horrible. It's just chemicals, you better drinking toilet duck or bleach. Horrible. Real form of cards can be a dangerous game, massively dangerous. Celtic connection. I'm day 37 off the beer day. Longest I've been without 3 years. Well, that's good. Well done. So 37 days ago. Well done. Elbow, I gave up completely, then stupidly I went back to a tolerance that dropped massively. Now I respect it. Drink very little now. If you can control it, that's good. I couldn't. Fair play, Sally. If I only smoke at the pub, it's like the two go hand in hand. Yeah, a lot of people who don't smoke exactly that regularly will have one at the pub. But to put the sort of images on the bottle of beer wouldn't make much difference, I don't think. Bertie, Scotland is a certain price per unit because alcohol is a big problem in Scotland. Scottish people cross the border to call out stock up. Really, I didn't know that. It's a bit like we used to go to France, isn't it? The British, English used to go to France. UK people and then get all this beer cheaper. Alex used to be able to smoke everywhere in pubs and planes and even doctors, of course, it did, yeah. Smoke was banned everywhere so quickly. Yeah, they did ban a lot of places. Remember, I don't know if you ever got on a train in the sort of mid 80s when they had these smoking only carriages. Jeez, it was horrendous. Frosty Jacks, that's the stuff, Nick, horrendous. Cars, Tom, that stuff is like crack to get off. I bet it is. Like Frosty Jacks, Omega and Nice cider. Merry Down and White Line. I remember Merry Down cider. I remember drinking that as a kid. I don't know what's strong. That was a big brown bottle, wasn't it? If you benefit from these lives, then please feel free to drop a chat. You don't have to put very much in. It helps this channel and supports us. And the buy me coffee links at the top, as always. Very grateful. Gary, I was in 2 hours and hadn't even been triaged. Felt better, so left 6 weeks sober, and I still had withdrawals. Badness good. It takes a long time to turn the clock back. We can't turn the clock back. Dirty bus. I've been to France and Belgium bootlegging. Yeah, we all did that, didn't we? Leslie Scrumpy is the worst. Oh, it is, yeah. I'm Devon. Big things. Horrendous. Yeah, I know I will relapse because I always have. That's the problem. They don't really. You've got to just keep off it. I try and put it off, act as if I accept what with my algorithm looks like. You can't afford to take that risk. Let Relina, how are you doing? I'm from the Republic of Ireland, and years ago I used to cross over the border and fill the boot. Used to be near half the price now to compare to anywhere down south. Jesus, no difference, isn't it? We were in Dublin not long ago. It was very expensive in Dublin. Really expensive. Cars used to be sort of blackthorn cider. I found that a bit acidic. That Merrydown was nice, man. These white ciders I've never seen that with those white cider. I think they're just chemical on them. We've got 60 people on now, which is brilliant. Off now. Alex, you could say the same about the strong lagers, like the carb packy stuff and Castle Super. I could never down that, I remember drinking some special brew once. They were taking off some vagrants, and used to pour maybe half a glass of that and top it up with a much weaker lager, which was quite good. But the drinks terrible. Okay, next question. Yeah, I get a lot of questions from people. Oh, this might dovetail into Gary's problem. Anxiety after quitting alcohol. I never got any anxiety after quitting, you know. Once I was off it, my withdrawal sort of subsided. I never got any more anxiety after it stopped. But massive when I was drinking. Cars used to love black or black. Yeah. Alex, you could say the same. Of course, strong nose, definitely bad for you. Electron as a gulper, side I'd hammer load and my stomach would explode. Proper, very acidic, isn't it? I couldn't drink it that fast. That's why I used to drink this pill stuff that had less gas in it. Cars, yeah, 10 and super. It's horrendous, wasn't it? It was black, like a dark, tarry colour. Stoic, me, I don't accept it. Your alcoholism doesn't deserve your surrender. Kick your addiction in the nuts and take control of your life. Brilliant, Stoic. What a man of words. It's incredible. Did you ever smoke with alcohol for the head rush? I've never smoked, no. I tried a cigarette when I was about 14 and felt dizzy, and that was it. I didn't do that. I just didn't like it. But I love the beer. The lager, as it were. See, they had home brew at home. My parents didn't have a lot of money, so my parents used to drink this home brewed lager. Which used to get them kits from Boots. And it was really nice. I had this, I live in this police complex with a massive area, like a wash house place, and you could put it on this stone floor and bring all the sediment down with the beer and decant it into a big jug. It was such a nice drink. And the taste and the feeling I got from that sort of started me off. And I thought, this is my drug of choice, really. I never veered from that. Which was hard to turn down a drink. Just keep it to one or two. You cannot do that. It's impossible. Anybody who's on here who's got a problem with alcohol, it's impossible to keep it down to one or two, isn't it? We know that, yeah. Gary, 2020 cider and special brew snake bites. Wow. Seemed like fun in the 90s, yeah, but not now, then. Everything that was fun in the 90s is going to kill you now, unless you watch what you do. Everything you do today will give you a better chance tomorrow. So what you eat, the way you sleep, the way you exercise, will all benefit you in the future. Because I'm a smoker, I wouldn't be able to have a night off without it, really. Dealing with cravings from the booze and the fags, not a chance. No, it's not good, is it? It's just not good. I don't like the smell of smoke anyway. I don't know how people can do it. Impossible for many of us. Come on Pazorazole, I don't know what that is. Parazole and acid medication works. Okay. Thanks for that. So yeah, the anxiety went totally disappeared for me as soon as I got off it. Yeah, it's been 25 years. That's what has happened. I will also never stop trying. My life is better for it in every way. Exactly. You've got to be. Use a bit of common sense, haven't you? That's what we've got to do. We've got to have a bit of common sense. Harps music. Hiya, Harps, how are you doing? Experienced bullying in your chat on WhatsApp today. Not in a good place. I'll have a look. I'll check that up then. I'll have a look at that. I've been a bit busy with a meeting today, but I'll have a look, Harps. Should be no bullying going on there. That's ridiculous. Let me look at that for you. Keep in touch with me on Shops and that one. I didn't realise that. However, I should look into it. Not good. Samara, even Stoic. Yeah, we've got to watch this bullying thing. It's not good, is it? So let's move on to the next topic. I think we should do that. Right, this is another one that a lot of people do find a problem, which is saying no to peer pressure. When people say, oh, just have one, you'll be fine. Do you not drink at Christmas and all that sort of thing? No, don't. You've got to be very strong with that. Because if you don't, then you're going to fall foul. And then these people who encourage you to drink will walk away and you'll be in a total mess. And you'll never get over it in some cases. It's really difficult. I had a bit of that years ago, and that's not good. You think, oh, because what happens is people say things that will take you off course. Oh, just have one. You think, oh, maybe I could just have one. So stay away from people who are, in my view, losers, or people who can't do any good, or people that look down on you. Stay with positive people. People are trying to get sober. People who are sober. Go to healthy places. Get away from people who would want to see you down, because people love to see you down. And keep everything private as well. Be a little bit more subtle in life. Left on a Guinness worth hangover is really, I didn't have fun. No, Guinness hangover is not particularly bad. Worth hangover. When I was 17, I had an aptitude test for a good career with the electricity board. was day after Paddy's Day. I couldn't even read the questions. I know what you're saying, yeah. Yeah. Funny enough, I did the inspector's exam, and the policeman had a little drink. I felt it, well, hungover. Stoic evening, Samantha. Samantha, hey, nice to see you. How are you? Hope you're well. Samantha, normal drinkers just don't understand that we can only have one drink. Yeah, we can't have any coming up. So it was no, that's so we've been right through the middle with this. I mean, I'm glad you pushed that. Actually, you've been ill with it as I have, and it's so extreme that what we get up to, isn't it? And that's why we've got to be. You've got to live every day as if it's your last, and that goes for everybody, really, to be honest, because it will just completely bring you down. And to me, and I've said it 1,000 times, the relapse thing is a killer, 100%. Kaz, Steve, that's what ruined my first detox in 2014. Dragged into a pub despite my protest. It's only the one. Non-alcoholics don't know exactly. Non-alcoholics don't get it. This is why this channel is very important. All of you know more, in my view, than the doctors do, because we know how each other feel, because we've been there. And doctors will prescribe medication, but they don't know how you feel mentally or physically. That's the difference. Actually, why spice was a legal thing before cannabis? I didn't even know. I don't know much about spice. Was it legal? I didn't know that. That's interesting. But the worst thing is about well after drinking, you're around drinkers. Does my head in? Yeah, you've got to keep away from the drinkers. It's a mysterious liquid. They want to see you turn into a pumpkin. Jekyll and Hyde show. Drunks are entertainment. Of course, yeah. But don't get drawn in by them, because that's it. That will lead you in. Richard, does that up, Stoic? You are not your addiction. We have a voice in our heads that's not ours. Our addictions, anytime it asks for a drink. Samantha, thanks very much for that, Samantha. That's super chat. Really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to drop a super chat in to make, boost the channel and it supports us massively, then please do. Or hit the Buy Me a Coffee link. And it's all does a good job in keeping the channel moving, keeping the content fresh and current. There's always something new about us pops in the press. I'll keep an eye on the press every day. Thanks for that, Samantha. Something to easier. Right, okay. Jojo, I have a drink, and a drink is a drink. Normally it's double. Yeah, that's true. It goes on forever, isn't it? Once you start, you're finished. Simple as that. Sometimes it's just easier to tell someone that you're on antibiotics or some other medication and removes the stigma of being drink. That's a good point. Why should there be a stigma though? But I know what you're saying. I did try that. I just tell people I don't drink anymore. If they ask any questions, just say I don't drink anymore. End of. They're not real friends. Of course they're not, Con. I totally agree. They're not really friends. Joe, yeah, double. Again, thanks again, Samantha, for that super chat. If you want to drop one in, please do. The coffee link's at the top. Let's have a cars. Con agreed. I don't say them anymore. All that hard work for nothing. Exactly. Yeah. Why go down to their level? It's as simple as that. People love to see you fail. So it makes them feel better too. Much better. So mine is fully formed demon on board. Gary, your social circle diminishes as the alcohol intake increases. You end up drinking alone and sodas, boozers around by your new peers. Yeah, you're right there. The real good people disappear. And so you drink a lot of soaks, old soaks. Next tomorrow, thank you, Sam. Yeah, thanks again, Sam, for that super chat. Anyone who doesn't drink anymore should be the proudest in the room. 100%. That's why I keep saying here. Think of it. Don't forget about the stigmas and all that nonsense. Think of it as you are the exclusive, right, minority. That's the way to look at it. Anyone doesn't drink anymore, they should be very proud of yourself to get off, because it's the hardest fight of my life to get off the booze. Keep off the booze, then just get off. It's hard to get off, isn't it? If you have, like I did, have problems with seizures and all that sort of thing. But once you're off it, it can be even harder. But you've got to remember that the years take over, and if you want a life and you want a good life, you've got to be sober. That's it. And close the door on this social drinking thing. It's finished. Gone. It's well done. Kaz, was you it wasn't even the drink, it was the community and the smell of the place. Hope that makes sense. Of course it does. It's habit again, you see. It's a habit, isn't it? Yeah, it's such an accomplishment. It's massive. It's a massive, massive accomplishment to stay off the booze. Stoic Maya and your one hard off demons saying, Angel, kick its ass, you're strong enough and you are worth a life free of misery. Freedom, good word, free of misery, freedom to do what you want within reason. When you're chained to the alcohol, then you can't do anything. You can't do anything at all. Sure, Jill, what do you think of AA's idea that we are allergic to alcohol? And the allergy is the overwhelming need to drink? No, I don't believe that. I don't like the AA. But I know some people have sort of actually benefited from. To me, the AA was one of these things where it's all a bit like a bit religious, isn't it? Powerless, and there's a what's this higher power and all. I mean, when you're a drinker, the only power is to not drink. When you got to drink, just don't drink it. That's it. That's what you need to do. It's not like you've got to do something like, oh, I'm going to have an operation to have my leg chopped off. All you have to do is not to drink. It's easy for me to say that, but I'm telling you from experience, once you cracked it a few times, it gets easier with time as well, you know. And you are, if somebody told me what my life would be like even 4 or 5 years ago, now I wouldn't have believed them. It's incredibly good now for a number of reasons, and you can all do it. If I can get off it, then you can, and that's why we're here. You know? If like if you like and share the videos and stuff, there's loads of information on there. But because people you see in a pub every day care more about that pub and alcohol than their own family. 100% again, of course they do. Mere misery is optional. Stoic, 100% it's a choice. Choose life, love, and happiness. Well said. New Hughes, if you think how ill you are when drinking, you will have a good start to feel better and stuff. Yeah, that's probably the only way. That's the way I keep off the booze now. I mean, I'm all right now, but when I first thought, oh, wonder if I'll just have one, just recall what you were like when you were boozing, when you were ill, when you were in hospital, when you lost everything, and now you lost your life. That'll stop you drinking. You've got to concentrate on that every day. May the day you finally feel better after detox is always a great day. Of course, it is. Every day is a good day when you're sober as well. Add on to your life. Can't people that do that make me ill? Oh, these people that encourage you to drink, horrendous. Tell Steve, I've tried on and off for years. I still don't get the higher power thing. Neither do I. I don't know where that comes from. I think, to me, there was a few people that used to whinge on about life. And that was it. It wasn't particularly interesting. But some people do get it, but I think it's about the only alternative, isn't it? Oh, just go here. Even the doctors mentioned it to me. I thought, what's all that about? The doctors telling you to go here. Don't think so. So exactly, Bertie, that's why you have to put recovery before loved ones. If you don't, you will lose them anyway. Jill A says that the higher powers of your own understanding and requires no religion. I'll say, okay, that's fair enough. Good orderly direction. If it helps, then it's brilliant, isn't it? I've got no problems with that. It just didn't suit me. But thanks for that input. Anne Driver bought a coffee. Thanks, Anne. Appreciate the coffee. There's a link at the top of that. Cheers, Anne. Massive support of the channel, and every donation keeps us going on here, and it enables me to keep, putting this content out and doing lives every night. I missed last night. I had a little special occasion on. So, thanks again for everybody who's donated. Thanks again for all of you being here, because everyone has a massive input here, and I learn things every night. I'm sure you do as well. Geo, I'm just reading this about the A again. Higher powers of your understanding. Yeah, maybe you're right. That's like religion, isn't it? Not religion, but it's how you understand things. We tend to associate alcohol with a good place, happy times, and the place of refuge when we're down. It's a good point, Samara, because I think that's because we go back in time a little bit when we're younger and think, wow, it was quite good in that boozer. The roaring fire in the winter and the snow. I can recall a time when I was about 17 in the hometown of Morpeth, Northumberland. It was New Year's Eve. Oh, it's great. Be out New Year's Eve. You know what's out when you're younger. And it's snowing. Went to this pub called Waterford Lodge. I thought it was at the castle. That was where I used to live, actually. I didn't live in a castle. But the atmosphere was buzzing. And I remember days there and I thought, wow, this is great. And all the people in there. And that's what I was associated with. And then went to London. I was very young, my 20s, I got promoted, and I had the cash and the booze were good, and it was all glamour, and you get swept away with it. But the people who've done all right in life are the ones who've managed to pull it back. But I'll just let it flow and I'll stop. On the crest of a wave, I suppose, But it's a good quote, that's somewhere we tend to associate alcohol with a good place, happy times, and a place of refuge. It's a very, very good point, that actually. But yeah, I've been to alcohol meetings and people are drunk or have to be there because of court orders. Really, I didn't know that, man. That's interesting. And others are trying thrown back and they spoil it. That's interesting, but court orders. Wow. 70, I've definitely been drunk at AA. Well, there you go. My own family doesn't hate the addiction; they hate the addict. You know how that is. Yes, I think there's lack of understanding, to be honest. But I know exactly where you come from. I just can't listen to the war stories of some apathetic, and they think the world's out to get them. So I couldn't or wanted to tell my stories. I would think it was demonic. I know what you're saying. I didn't get it at all. And the more I speak about it, the more people are quite negative about it. But I'm glad it's got people off the drink. I'll do anything to get people off the drink. So I would hate anybody to get to where I was. It's horrendous. So we've got to go now. Finishing work. Catch you later. Cheers, Stoic. Thanks for your wise words, as always. So I'm not a religious person. In fact, I don't believe in imaginary sky wizards. So I never got a religious cult brotherhood. In here, I just wanted to get sober without all the malarkey. Yes, that's me as well. I'm a little bit more black and white with that. Scientific maybe. Real life with it, yeah. Let's find the Freemasons have to believe in a higher power. So, right, yeah. I'll tell you a story about that one day, Freemasons. So there's Bertie people celebrate Easter and Christmas, but they are not religious. Well, that's true. Christmas and Easter and all those sort of holidays, basically an excuse for us to get drink on our necks up. I used to be anyway, but now it's fantastic to get over Christmas with the sober, having a nice meal. It's brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous to have that sort of life now. I learned how to speak in public today about myself. That was quite good. Confidence again, isn't it? But you get confidence with being sober as well, mate. I was going to touch on this autumn thing. Very quickly, it's gone from light nights, nice and warm, to being cold, wet, pretty miserable out there. And I'll still bang on about it because it will affect some people. This is when people will relapse. Not just now. That's why this sort of thing is important, to come on here and support the channel and meet other people on here, because you can be sitting there bored, sick, happy state, and think, Jesus, I'm bored, sick. It's so easy now to just order things online and get somebody to drop some beer off. I never did that. Well, I did drink later in my years, but I always had to get it or go to the pub or something, or get a taxi to the pub. You got Ubers around the corner, just ding ding on your phone, they're there, and it passes the time on a cold winter's night, doesn't it? But it's not going to do you any good. And it's so easy to do that. I know people say you might be a little bit drawn at the pub when it's a nice sunny day, but there's more activity, and it's a long, long night, especially for people on their own, who are just sitting there thinking, geez, especially overthinkers and people who worry too much. God, I'm sick of the same old nonsense on TV, and you've done what you can, during the day, and I'll just have a couple, to pass the time, and then all that happens the next day is you recover in bed. Some people sit in bed all day. Kaz, it's not part of a conventional religion, right? Understand, Kaz? Kaz, you're better off. Yeah, I suppose so. It's just one of them things I've never really taken to it. So yeah, peer pressure is massive. So stay away from people that would rather you drunk than not. Gary, last year meeting I attended, the pre-match drink of choice for some of the participants was a shared bottle of sherry 5 minutes before the meeting. Never. That's really bad, isn't it? I'll have to have a look into this year thing. Yikes, autumn in Florida. Really? Well, autumn in the UK is not worse than autumn in Florida, I imagine. Let's get hurricanes or something. But yeah, the ear thing's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? This is another one. How did I fill my time in? You've got to find healthy replacements for alcohol. That's the thing. Let's talk taxis. Do you miss the taste of lager? I tend to replace that with taste if it was 0%. I used to drink something called Erdinger, which has a nice taste. It's a wheat beer lager type thing. But I have Guinness Zero now, so it's nice to have the taste. But again, that's just a habit, a habit where you just think, oh, I'm going to pick it up. It's about like smoking for some people, maybe. I didn't smoke, but my mother used to have a bit of a habit. She used to smoke and then stopped when she was about 35, I think. The habit of just lighting a cigarette and drawing on it, Me and Gary, that's unbelievable. It's horrendous what happened to Gary there. The hospitals are just not on point either with it all. But for the A to have people with a bottle of sherry outside is just defeats the object completely, doesn't it? But there you go. There's good and bad stories from everything. Isn't it? But getting back to what I was saying earlier about the autumn and the winter nights, come on here and share your stories and learn, because it filled the big thing is that with alcoholism, you spend so much time in the pub and you spend a lot more time than that recovering from alcohol. You have to find something to replace that time. That you've got this huge void of maybe 10 hours a weekend. You got to do something else. What are you going to do at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night? You've got to get something to do. Otherwise, you'll just go by the boozer. Sunday you'll spend recovering, and you have the anxiety, you have the Sunday fears, and so will go on. Because the typical week, isn't it? Monday you get to work, you have to do a bit hungover. Make it through Monday. Let's just say make it through Monday. Have a couple of drinks on Monday. Get Tuesday, make it through Tuesday. Wednesday maybe feel a bit better. Thursday, I might have to go to the pub Thursday night, a few. Only got one more day left. Friday have loads to drink. Saturday you feel rough, but you've got plenty of time to have a live now, because you know you're off Sunday. Sunday you're back to work, in effect, in your mind. By midday Sunday you think, oh God's sake, I'm going to be at work tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And all this sort of thing. In some jobs, people get contacted when they're off duty or off. Well, I did. I was on call when I was on call, but you get contact before you even start work, and you worry about that, and you get the anxiety of all that, and that coupled with hangovers and withdrawal was just a total nightmare. Don't go to any meetings, and you might go, wrong people, right? Okay, that's interesting. Narcotics is not yet. No, there's heavy drinkers and there's alcoholics. They're not the same. That's very true. I said earlier, the heavy drinkers want to drink. The alcoholics need to drink. That's as simple as that, really, isn't it? Either need or you want to. When you start to need a drink in the morning to get over recovery, then or to recover, then that's a dangerous place to be in, because it's hard to get back from there. Because once you've gone from the heavy drinking stage to the heavy drinking, and you know it's causing you issues with your family or with finances or your health, and you carry on past that, then you're into active addiction, then you're not full blown alcoholic, and that's when you're going to have massive issues, and you can end up in hospital and worse. So you've got to be mindful of where you are in this at each stage, I suppose, because each stage is going to get worse, isn't it? Heavy, exactly, but yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there. Heavy drinking can become dependent drinking, 100%. Yeah, if you get some benefit from these lives, which I hope you do, then please feel free to drop a super chat in. There's also a buy me a coffee link at the top there to support the channel. Keep it going, and we're doing pretty well. I think we're doing about 6-7 weeks now. We've got a steady following, and it's getting a bit of we're getting a lot of good positive vibes, which is brilliant. Johnny the Troll, hi everyone. Hi Steve, how are you doing? Nice to see you, Johnny. Birdie Bus, that's how it starts. It does start, yeah. It starts from habit. Well, it starts from experimentation, then habit, then heavy drinking, and then heavy drinking with consequences, and then full-blown addiction and dependency. The same sort of thing. When I was young, I thought it was the secret to life, and it took so little. You're right there, mind. I thought when I was younger, I was like, wow, this is going to boost my everything. It didn't in the end. Very marginally, but not. I think what happened to me was I drank, but even by the age of early 20s, I was hooked, But I was fit enough to bounce back a little bit. So when I could never understand the heavy drinkers drinking as much as I could on a weekend, but could stop without any comeback, just a hangover. To me, they weren't normal. Yeah, that's what happened to me. I knew heavy drinkers who could drink not as much as me, but similar amount, but they used to bounce back. I couldn't bounce back. I was always like, ugh. go on with it, Heavy drinking is a prelude to alcoholic. 100%, Robert, I agree. There's an absolute difference, somewhere there is, between heavy drinking and dependency. Bertie, you don't become an alcoholic by drinking in moderation. You drink heavy, then depend and can't drink in moderation. That's the thing, isn't it? Left runner, summer is over. It is mine. This hasn't it gone quick? Not the summer, but the actual crossover time. And that's, I'll say it again, the time when you're going to, not you, but people on here will start thinking about it. And that's where you're going to keep in contact. Watch the videos, watch the content, and keep in touch with other people who are on here. But if you don't become an alcoholic by drinking in moderation, you drink heavy, then you depend and can't drink in moderation. Yeah, somebody once said to me, a good friend of mine, who was, he said to me, you need to cut down the drinking before you can never drink again. I never understood what he meant then, but I do now. Because I'll never drink again. So I didn't cut it down. I went to the limit, and then you can't have any more drinks. That's what he meant. Summer's over. I just want to help my kid proper with homework now without getting confused by maths for 8 years. For 8 years old. I'm Sparky, which is supposed to be intelligent. We are intelligent, but the booze, the addiction, as Stoic would say, is addling your brain, isn't it? That's the problem. Unfortunately, I was in the wrong group. Yeah, and me. I was in the heavy drinking to crossover very quickly. And at 17, I thought alcohol was a miracle drug. Probably started self-medicating even then. Yeah, I think maybe early 20s for me, but I understand where you come from. I was sort of fit enough to bounce back the next day, So absolutely alcohol makes us become the person we want to be. Yeah, it steers you that way, doesn't it? But you never really get there. It's half job Harry, isn't it, with alcohol? Rick, I drink 20 ciders a day. Is that pints or bottles? Another good thing on here, we can say we drink 20 pints or we used to drink 25 pints. Nobody get busting our heads, does it? Because I do a lot of one-to-one mentoring and people say, I had 24 pints last Thursday. Who's keeping count? But that was normal for me some days, But the average man in the street, if his feet this postman, so I had 24 pints, you think, what are you talking about? He's had 3 and he goes home, The average drinker. Bertie, people who have a heavy night on the drink, you get a hangover. If you're dependent, you don't get hangover because you drink again. Yeah, you go into withdrawal and you drink because to get over the withdrawal. You're right there. You don't have a hangover. I went very quickly from having a drink hangover to having a drink withdrawal, especially when you relapse. When you relapse, no hangover again. You never once you depend, you never have a hangover. You just got withdrawal. The hangovers for the shandy boys, as it were, if that makes sense. You don't get them anymore. 20 cans of Bulmers. Wow, it's a fair drink that, man, Rick. Cider always gave me a sandpaper throat on me. I just felt it was too gassy. Cider, and I didn't like the acidic side of it, But we're all going to be all right if we stay together. Imagine going to a bar, somewhere, and drinking 20 pints of lemonade, all orange juice. Alcohol is the only drug that we forced on our neck. Yes, it's a good point. People say, well, especially my partner says, why don't you just drink water? I couldn't drink 10 pints of water. You know what I mean? But alcohol, whoa, it's fine. I'll just drink 30 over 18-hour period. You're right, and it's forced down your neck. And it's the only thing, isn't it? People run to the bar at 11 o'clock at night and actually fight to give money away to buy poison. But it's what it is, in effect, isn't it? Because that explains why I snore so much. You've got to be really so careful. So, getting onto this, I'm going to bang on about this autumn thing because I don't know when you relapsed most, but it was mainly in the winter time I did it, mate. Or when I drank more because I felt there was less to do and I didn't feel well. Because when the sun's shining, you feel a bit better and you feel a bit more energetic and you think, well, I'll just go for a beer and I'll maybe have 1 or 2 or I'll go into the gym or do something different. But when you're in the depth of winter, you just hate it large, don't you? It's really bizarre. Most people I speak to when I do this one-to-one are more fearful of now at Christmas of relapsing than ever on in the summer because of that reason. There's sort of less time to do positive things. because you're chasing the alcohol fix. You are, but that's true. So you've got to find something that's healthy to do. And as mentioned before, hotel gym was a thing for me, where you don't have to lift loads of weights, but you can go and sit around the pool. You can talk to people. Take a box of fruit or something and just relax a bit. You've got to learn to relax like that. The snoring wakes me up, then I need to pee. Don't sleep well now. That's constant, isn't it? If you drink too much, it was a loo type thing. And you never, as you all know, you don't sleep properly when you got alcohol in your system. You sort of doze, sleep, and it's never a proper 6, 7, 8 hours sleep or whatever you're supposed to have. You never ever do that. And also, when you drink, you become lethargic. So you don't exercise. You don't get properly tired, if that makes sense. You don't work at the same degree. You don't perform at the same degree in anything, and you just become lazy. And then your body breaks down, and you've got all these other things happening. And the small, minor things, small issues that you have, you'll never go and see the doctor about. Everything just gets left. You don't get your teeth checked. You don't get your eyes checked. You don't have your self care goes out the window, and you just don't look after yourself 100%, do you? I didn't look after myself 10% when I was struggling really badly. Samantha, the last spell in the pub would give me anxiety and the feeling of being let down hard. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Oh God, it's so late now. Do you remember the jugs you used to be able to take home? We used to have these plastic containers. You used to put 5 pints of lager in there and take them home. Crackers, isn't it? Guy was 25 pints of poison. Put bed cards, but don't put them in the house. Exactly. Yeah, massive money spinner, you know. Yeah, my sleep is a gift to sobriety. Good point. So is healthy eating as well, you know, and exercise and feeling calm. You never feel calm when you're heavy drinking. You never enjoy a holiday when you're heavy drinking. Heavy drinking is the hardest job you'll ever take on, especially when you get to the point of concealing it, hiding bank statements. That means all online now, isn't it? But hiding letters, hiding money, hiding the bottles, hiding the fact you've had a drink, buying loads of mints. All of this sort of thing just gets. Whenever you go anywhere, you've got to take bottles with you, and it's just horrendous. You've got to plan ahead, and you worry in case you're going to find out where your stash is, and you've got to order more, and then you get anxiety. There's nothing good about it. You can constantly because of withdrawal. Yeah, you can't see because of withdrawal starting. That's a good point. Yeah, you can't. You're worried all the time. The anxiety was the thing that nearly killed me. Did you ever try crack? No, I've never tried any drugs, Rick, to be fair. Other than alcohol, of course. Cobalt Jack 33, seeing, hearing, and feeling demons was enough for me to stop drinking. It's amazing you got off. I'm pleased you got off. That's well done. Kaz, correct. Neil had the night off Monday. Couple of hours sleep, awake at 3. Didn't sleep all night, tossing and turning. Withdrawal is the opposite of calm. Yeah, it is, mind. You never get any calm. You never get any peace when you're on alcohol or when you sleep, when you're drinking. You never get any peace. There's always something in your mind about will this be discovered? Will that be discovered? Will we be able to get to the pub? Will I be able to walk tomorrow because ice on the ground? And all this thing, get in the pub. Will I be able to get delivery? And the overthinking becomes obsessional. So yes, with a plastic handle, that's right. I also remember the Watney's party, 7 cans, 7 pints of beer, and 1 can. Yeah, if you watch, all of you listen to this carefully, but there's a program called Life on Mars. It's about the old days of policing. It's a funny twist at the start, but you'll get the gist of it. All about the amount of drinking we did in the police. Well, not me, but it's based in Manchester. This one, but historically in the 80s, 90s, drinking was just everywhere. It is now, but it's just a bit more behind the scenes. Rick, do you think you would become addicted if you had tried other drugs? I'm not sure, to be honest. It's a bit of a difficult one. That I knew that I liked alcohol. I knew it was easy to get. I knew it was quite affordable, and I knew it was everyone drank. I was never worried about it when I was younger. I was never warned about it. Nobody was warned at school about drugs. Actually, drink, avoid drugs, avoid drugs, avoid drugs. But you can have a drink if you want. It's all the same thing. Alcohol's one of the worst drugs. We never ever warned about it. DT sounded like the scariest thing I've ever heard. And me, I've never had them, but really bad. One of these memories bad. You use the sleep improves after a week. 3 hours after you have a drink, withdrawal starts. Really, I know it starts quickly. It's worse when you got to go to work, isn't it? When you have to go to work, you have to focus on things. And you think about getting into the car. Will I have got petrol? Can I go to the garage? Have I got any money left? All these things go in your head. And there's 25 subjects in your head when you wake up instead of having 2, which is like, I'll have a shower, I'll have a bath, that sort of thing. And that's when you've got peace, when you wake up and think, I've got plenty of time today. I don't have to chase my tail all day. That's the thing. Hope you're benefiting from these lives. If you do, please drop us super chatting or the Buy Me Coffee links at the top if you want to support the channel. That's very good of you if you can do that. Young people are still not warned in schools. Of course they're not. Of course they're not. Never. It's just mad. It's never got any better, is it? Just the NHS are struggling. They're just leaving people on the streets in a way and just not giving them any help. I'm mentoring the guy at the moment who's not very well at all. He's not getting any help. But yeah, DT started a week after starting drinking. I've never had DTs and I don't want them. Well, obviously I can't now. I don't drink. See how I can think DTs and cold water is in the same second. Yes, it is. You know about all the dangers and horrendous things, but you still think about a drink. Where do the two line up? I think it starts earlier than just that. It probably does. If you come suddenly, it's not good because you can have seizures, can't you? That's another issue. But also mental health as well. People get depressed, don't they? Suicides can be attributed to alcohol, and people just go downhill generally, and everything just collapses, doesn't it? It's not good. So yeah, you must get healthy replacements for alcohol. So please, can you subscribe, share, and hit the notification? That may help us. Thanks to Maria. Follow the Submariners comment on there. It's important to subscribe and share and help. There might be someone else out there who doesn't know about this. And might be able to save a life, another life, possibly. And it's fantastic when I get a message to say from somebody who said, save my son's life, he's off the booze. Just by what we do on here. It's incredible that we get that feeling. 2 to 3 days, I think, about DTs, yeah. If I had DTs, I'd be afraid I'd stay that way. Yeah, maybe that's the same as when I had these seizures, and that's why I couldn't stop drinking. And maybe I could have done if I'd had a bit more confidence, but I couldn't get the medication and it just made it worse. And I felt ill all the time. I felt I needed to drink, and I felt, don't have to drink, I'm going to have the seizure, all this sort of kind. So it just gets worse and worse and worse. And that's why I just can't have the first drink. I mentioned it before, Gaza, the footballer, he always says, don't pick the first drink up. And that's so important. So that's why you've got to get off it if you can. And when you're off it, stay off it. And the only way you're going to stay off it has this feeling of a thought, I'm going to be back to square one again. And to fill your time in, you've got to do something more important than alcohol, more healthy than alcohol. Dan, the demons you see when you have the DT is absolutely terrifying, I can imagine. That's how harmful it is to us. And then we think, I might just go for a pint. And with DTs, come on. It's just crazy, isn't it? Hallucinations, that's different. I understand. Has it happened only the once? The visual hallucinations really affected my judgment. Well, would do. You don't trust yourself anymore, would you? The DTs are horrible beyond belief. So when you went into the RVI guy, what was it? What did they actually say? What was your withdrawal? If you don't mind me asking, how did you feel? Was it just a panic attack, or was it a question of full blown withdrawal, as in shaking and all the rest of it? Leslie Jones. Good night, everyone. Good night, Leslie. It's an hour later here. Sleep well. Live tomorrow, Stu. Yeah, we're on tomorrow. Just had a quick little night off. Had a little thing to do. I'll see you tomorrow. Bertie, Cobalt, my brother got alcohol-induced psychosis section with paranoid schizophrenia. Jesus Christ. See, it affects the brain, doesn't it? Badly. My poor nephew had it. He didn't make it 37. Come on. Horrendous, isn't it? People 37. All because of this booze. It's absolutely astonishing how many people are dying from this. A lot of the information's kept from us, I've been in those liver wards. I've seen what goes on. That's never, ever publicised. So for God's sake, don't get into the state where you get delirium tremors. 37% of people die of DTs without medical intervention. Bloody hell. It's a vast amount, isn't it? 37%. Cobalt Jack, sorry to hear that. My hallucinations started for 48 hours. That's some state to get into. I don't know if that's affected by whether you drink spirits or lager or beer or wine or whatever. But I never had DTs. I had horrendous panic attacks where I couldn't go into a shop. I'd go into the shop and walk out again. I used to stand and sort of semi-shake. I couldn't cross the road. At one point, I had a car. I could drive a bit. I could have to park it on the left-hand side of the road, which is near the house. And I just used to think, if I put the car on the other side of the road, I can't cross the road. Why did it get me to that point? But as soon as I had a couple of drinks, I could walk a little bit. I couldn't walk if I didn't have a drink, you see. And I think, well, if I have 8 drinks, I might be able to get the pub to see a bit of life. But by that time, I was knackered anyway. But I just couldn't face sitting and getting, trying to get myself pulled together, because I couldn't go to the doctor. I couldn't get to the doctor. I was so weak and so down, ability delusions to alcohol. DTs have to do with extended periods of heavy drinking. You should know who you are. Yeah. God, this is horrendous. Spirits are a massive contributor to DTs. Most I've known have been massive whiskey drinkers. Right, I didn't know that. So why would spirits be more, or lead to DTs rather than ordinary beer, for instance? Nearly as longer you have drunk, and the amount dictates DTs. Well, I drank for years and years and years, and that's why I had a seizure when I stopped. But I had no DTs. I don't know if anybody else had a seizure, but it's really odd because I remember just feeling really out of it. I started to shake a bit, and then I had this seizure. And then came round, and I was like, I could speak properly and things. And I had another one in the hospital where I started to speak really slowly. My words are all jumbled up belly now, really. And I sort of went to seizure. I was in the seizure for a long time, apparently. When I came out, I felt really good. I felt wonderful. It's very bizarre. So when I was in the mental hospital, there was a beautiful young girl who was stuck on an acid trip. She would strip naked and dance in the canteen. Absolutely horrendous. Jesus. That's fine. Good night, folks. Good night. School night. Okay, let Ryan speak soon. Thanks for all your input. Gary Dawson told a counsellor today she thought it was post-alcohol withdrawal syndrome. Some newly sober alcoholics take months to recover. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, that's me. 1+ every day. Good night, Electrolina. From sub. Yes, it's just a whole minefield of problems. It's a world of trouble. It's going to take you down, isn't it? A world of trouble. Again, I think. Oh yeah, another question there. What about nutrition? Well, the role of nutrition in recovery. I'm talking about people who've recovered here. You've got to get onto a healthy diet. Simple as that. Mere vodka too. Spirits are so pure. It's a good point. The physical dependence isn't mitigated by time or calories. Okay. Excellent. Vodka. So this is why people stay off spirits, but I didn't have spirits, and it really knackered me. Just the beers. Johnny the Troll. Good night to everyone. Keep strong. Night Electro. So obviously, that's a good warning. Keep off spirits, and if you need a drink, if you have to drink it when you're coming off, I wouldn't advise anybody to just go cold turkey. Try and see the medics. Although the medics recently haven't been particularly good, according to some people, with pills. And the community centres they send you to, whatever they are, they want a lot of people to blow sober before they let you in. Apparently, I haven't been to one, but now I was in a state where I couldn't be sober. I was never sober for 3-4 years. I'd always have a drink in my system, so I couldn't have gone. And that's why I just self-medicated. Cobalt, I lost a childhood friend to suicide, and I went on a week bender. When I was coming off in withdrawals, a demon was mocking me in the mirror, hanging herself. Jesus Christ. I've seen some wild shit too, Samara. I'm glad I've never seen it, but in a way, I'd like to maybe have a look at an illustration. No doubt AI could probably do it, of how bad it is. Because I suppose, is that the next step from seizures? DTs were never spoken about when I was not smoking. Never spoken about. All the hospital want to do is get you in, get out, and they'll try and get you sober, trying to get you out. But DTs sound like the most extreme part, especially as Samana said that 37% of people who have them will die, which is horrendous, isn't it? Unbelievable, really. So and I'm going back to recovery about good nutrition is very important. Drug-induced psychosis is the same. See, we're getting in realms of different things here. I don't know anything about this, which is good. I'm learning quite a lot here. What about this psychosis now? Unfortunately, never got to that point. But obviously, the people who have, and even more reason for you to stay sober, isn't it? If you're going to get the level of DTs. Because I know that if I had one drink, then I would probably think I can have two. That was my mind. I'm sort of like a bit of a normal drunk in a way, a normal drinker, in that I had a habit which led to an addiction, and then I had problems. But I'd never gone to the level of DTs and drugs, taking anything like that. So I feel for anybody who's at a level, because it's even harder, and that's even more reason that you've got to be strong and maybe seek more medical advice. I don't know much about the drug side of things other than I know you can get addicted very, very quickly. But the whole DT thing sounds hideous, to say the very least. But we all know what's going to happen. Then we go and have another drink again, don't we? When I spoke to a liver surgeon in hospital, who was just doing his rounds one day, during COVID actually, he said, well, I said to him one day, that was a bit of a chat, and he was just sitting, having a bit of chat actually. I said, do people who've had transplants actually drink again? He said, oh, a lot of people do. They go through an operation like Leslie, who had a 17-hour operation, and then they'll go back on the booze. Let's come and tell me why. Nobody answers. The power of addiction. Explain the power of addiction. That's the difficult one, isn't it? And we can do that properly. Like, oh, well, that's too much. Birdie versus psychosis doesn't mean being a psychopath. It's DTs, hallucinations, delusions. Has Kenton Cobalt. So yeah, the power of addiction is so strong it will take you back. You've had a liver transplant, you think, oh, everything's fine, but there's no chance of having a drink because all your other organs are linked to that, and it's apparently something to do with the brain as well. Your brain thinks, wow, can't handle this. And when you've had a liver transplant, like Leslie has, you've got tablets for life. 15, 20 tablets a day. What do they do for DTs? I don't know. To be fair, it must be more than Librium because that's basically just stop you having seizures, isn't it? Poop, I hear voices when I'm badly hungover. Luckily, I'm almost 6 months sober. Well done. Congratulations to Double P there. 6 months is brilliant. And just keep going. Keep strong. The longer you're off, the stronger you should be. But then again, something can always come along and rock the boat, unfortunately. Cobalt, yeah, I've watched videos on here. I don't fully believe these are just things in my mind. It was real intelligent evil, in my opinion. Yeah, it sounds horrendous. I must do some more research into that. Gary doesn't. In the psyche ward I was on for the DTs, the old bloke in the next bed died during my first night. Jesus Christ. Not good, is it? And we still go back and have a drink. There are horror stories on tonight. These need to be shared because otherwise people are just going to go back on the booze on Christmas Eve. Oh, we want to have a drink. Think about all this stuff that's going on here. Think about the consequences. Think about what it's going to do to your life. It's so easy to go in the pub. It's so hard to get out of it, isn't it? Same with picking up a drink. Once you start, that's it. You're done. But about seeing things, imaging things as psychosis. I mean, I thought I've heard music. No, it's not good, is it? Okay, we've done about 1 hour. We've done about another 5 minutes. Not about 10, 20. Dan, the thing is, the hallucinations are so real in auditory hallucinations when you close your eyes. I think I've had a bit of that, man, when I used to close my eyes when I was recovering. Or when I was in withdrawal, or even overnight, I used to sort of see things, close my eyes now, see things and wonder what was going on. But I never had these proper DTs, I don't think. I think mine was just lack of sleep, exhaustion, overthinking, anxiety, that sort of thing. It's not for a lot of horror stories, it's mysterious. Yeah, the whole thing's a mystery. Nobody's explained it really, this power of addiction. But like I said, I think I'm quite a normal drinker, habit, addiction, follows on really. Robbie Howlett, that's the beginning when you hear music on a loop. Right. I've done that before, just been so you get, you hear a song on the radio, I think it just carries on all day, that's when you need to ring an ambulance. Okay, that's interesting, Robbie. Didn't know that. So I hope you benefit from these lives. If you want to drop a super chat in, please do. And the coffee links at the top there. Help support the channel. So a lot of people seem to know about these DTs. So a lot of people have been through them. Betty Samara imagines he lives on a boat. Well, he does at the moment, doesn't he? I mean, he's got some stories to tell. We all have, haven't we? We've got horror stories to tell. Yet there's always a chance that any of us could go back on the booze. And that thought alone is terrifying, isn't it? That we could all just slip back into it. And that, to me, is the reason I'm here. to try and stop that. And I know for a fact that many people here would love to have a drink, because we'd all like to do that. But I think I've got the point now. I think if somebody said to me, you could go back to social drinking again by a miracle, I still wouldn't do that. Because even then, I didn't feel particularly well. 3 or 4 pints. Next day, you still have a bit of a bad day, wouldn't you? Dry mouth and not feel particularly good. It's not good at all. And spend a few quid you couldn't afford. I used to work out the nearest off license to every hospital. I was taken to utterly pathetic looking back. Jesus Christ. That's why you could get out of the hospital and go straight to the off-lead. Unbelievable, isn't it, what we've done? I mean, my most extreme thing with stock, as it were, having plenty of stock, was 48 slabs of 24 cans in a cupboard. 48 slabs of 24 cans. About 1,900 cans. Because I was thinking I'm going to run out. What happens if I run out? Because it took my mental health was shot with it all. People talk about DCs when they do it, it's the most frightening thing. It's horrible, isn't it? The Hat Man absolutely terrified me. So you obviously see, well, that's why it's called delusions, isn't it? Or delirium tremors. If you've seen things, it's just mind blowing. Well, it's blowing your mind up, isn't it? It's incredibly bad. So I don't know what people think about. I think everybody who isn't sober needs to have a think about what sort of plan they're going to have, especially we're in September now. Next month, maybe draft a little plan, do a bit of journaling, and think, well, I'm not off it yet, but when I come off it, I need to do this structure, get things in a structured way. Because if you don't, you just drift through winter, then I guarantee, but there's a higher chance of, getting back into the booze. Because it's so easy, isn't it? It never worked for me, all doom and gloom. I agree, Macca. I don't know what it's all about, to be fair. I only went a couple of times, but I think you need to talk openly about things. All I've got was people's personal stories, which we do here a little bit, but it's a bit more interactive here. I was just listening to somebody and think, what am I sitting here for? Gary Dawson drinking during my hospital stay. Wow. Where did you get the booze from, Gary? If you don't mind me asking. You're in hospital. How the hell do you get booze in a hospital? Gary, you had a hostage. Yeah. Poo, yes, I knew it was not real when my neighbours started commenting on my every thought. Wow. I know. It's a minefield, isn't it, alcohol? It'll never, ever be fully analysed. I don't think it's too complex. But for us here, as ordinary good folk, I think we should just take it on board. We can't drink. That's it. And that's a similar message, isn't it? Can't drink, and you want to be healthy again. You want to be prosperous again. You want things to work for you. You just can't drink. And that's the message we need to take away from here. Our drinking days are finished. You've got to close the door and move on. We know every part of life for different chapter, don't we? You go from your school years, your teen years, and then you move into work, and then maybe have family and all this sort of thing. That's done. And, everything moves along in cycles. The cycle of drinking for me was gone years ago, but I slipped back. I got back in the door. You can't afford to go back in the door again. Rake Lane, I was in there for 6 weeks. Rake Lane, North Tyneside, isn't it? What a horrible hospital, guy, isn't it? It's old, antiquated. It's very Victorian even. This channel is groundbreaking. We will crack the code. Well, thanks to me. I hope it is. Yeah, I think we've got some very, very experienced people here, and I think we should, as much as you can, push it. This is a new era. This sound. Nobody else does this like this, so it's a bit of a new thing, and we're getting a lot of, not publicity, but we're getting a lot of good feedback. There's a lot going on behind this channel, as in people are starting to talk about it. So, which is really good for all of you. And who knows what can come out of it, in the end. It could be a massive, massive interest in life for you. And it will gather pace. And trust me, soon it will blow up this. I guarantee it. My Steve is Dependency alcohol corporate. I hope so. Be good, wouldn't it? If we could actually get into this. 3.5 million people died last year of alcohol problems. And I think that's a low figure. I think there's a lot of other associated issues. Most crimes are alcohol related. A lot of other issues linked to alcohol that are never reported. Linked deaths, I mean. Con, my buddy brought me heroin in hospital. The doctors didn't know why I was so ill, and I wasn't going to admit it, as I was so busy at the work. He brought my fix into me. Jesus. Cobalt, I'm only 30 and have my first DT. I might have done damage to myself in the future. But okay, folks, just after 20, I'm going to go and get a bite of you if you don't mind. I should be on tomorrow, 9 o'clock. I've got a load of subjects to talk about from Blackstone. If anybody else wants to drop any subjects they'd like me to talk about, I'll put my number here. And you can just text me. And you can, I'll talk about anything you want, to be fair. And I'll keep it moving along. And nice to see everybody. And thanks for all dropping in. And have a good day tomorrow. And keep sober, for God's sake. And I think we could crack this here for us all. And we can be all healthy and happy again. And that's beyond the world. Dan, nice to even know. Thank you. Samantha, thank you. Good night. Hope you sleep well. Con, cheers, Stephen. Cool. Oh yeah. Take care, Steve, and chat. Well done, Kaz, for coming on. I'm sorry you had a couple of bad days, but we'll get you through this. We'll help each other. We're all here to help each other. And the more people, you get some more people on here. If you know anybody struggling, then pass on the videos, share the stuff, and we'll arrange a meeting for January in London somewhere. So keep that in mind as well. There's a little while yet, but work towards that and keep strong and keep well, and let's keep moving forward. Yeah. Good night, Cobalt. Good night, Anne. Nice to see you. Thanks to Kobe. Thanks to people who've donated. Samara, thank you very much. Chat for sharing tonight. Thank you, Steve. Good night, everyone. See you soon, Gary. Keep well, mate. And I know you're local. Might be up with this one day. Neil, good night. And let's see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And I said the number's on there. You'll find my number on the description part of the video if you want to get in touch. There's a one-to-one mentoring on there. There's an ebook as well, which will start to push a little bit more. I'm going to make some inroads into getting that turned into an audio book, which would be much easier, I think, for people to digest. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon, and take it easy.